What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Candidly Cantrice. So I know I was supposed to count down to the new year with you guys, and I completely flaked on that. I'm so sorry. But Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I hope everyone enjoyed their holiday and time with their family. If you spent time with your family, I had a good time. The day that I'm recording this is January 4th. I'm not ready to be back into the regular hustle and bustle. I would love to be on vacation for a few more days, but it is what it is. So I want to know how you guys' Christmas was, how you celebrated your New Year, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about the New Year goals, words you may have for the year. You know, last year I spoke about it before. My word for 2020 was deserve, which with 2020 it definitely shifted. I did deserve several things, but with 2020, it made me realize that I was grateful, that I am grateful for, the very small things that I do have. Something as simple as health. So for 2021, the words that I have are focus and assertiveness. You may not be able to tell, but I can be a person who compromises way too often with individuals, even to the point where if it's going to make somebody's going to be uncomfortable, I'll let it fall on me. And I've recognized that about myself, and I will no longer do that. If I am uncomfortable with something, I will let you know. I won't be rude about it or disrespectful, but I will be assertive enough to say, well, I don't want to do that. Maybe we could do this or something to that effect. So assertiveness is definitely something that I'm working on. It's just getting my point across without being aggressive or anything like that, because that's not the type of person I am. That's not my personality anyway. So focusing applies to so many things: my family, my finances, my home. So I have a lot of work to do in 2021. Goals that I did have in 2020 included getting a car. I did get a car, strengthening my relationship with Christ, which I feel that I didn't do too good of a job on. I could have been in my word more, in prayer more, and things like fellowshipping more. I had some other goals, savings goals with my house, with my kids. Traveling with them more. Obviously, we couldn't do that because the road was shut down on lockdown. So a lot of goals I didn't get to accomplish in 2020, and that's okay. I don't feel bad about it because it's a global pandemic took place. And so, God said, everybody push pause for a second. And so that's what we had to do. So I don't feel bad about it. If you didn't accomplish all your goals in 2020, don't feel bad about it either. But I do know some people who smashed their goals in 2020. So it is what it is, just on a per person basis. I don't want anyone to feel any type of ways about 2020, especially because of what someone else is saying. Not a lot of things, I've seen a few times on social media where people are posting, if you didn't start a business in 2020, you ain't no real hustler. And I just disagree with that saying so much. People don't know how hard it was for some people to even make it through 2020. So for you to tell somebody that they're not something because of that, how? People were struggling. People were terrified. People were, do you know what I mean? Like, how could you post something like that? I think it's a very insensitive post. If you started a business, great. If you didn't, great. If you didn't accomplish nothing but getting up every day and taking care of yourself and your family, great. If there were days where you didn't get up and take care of anybody, great. 2020 is not the year to try to push negative feelings on the people or make people feel shameful about what they did or didn't do. So I had to add my 2 cents because I was saying it too often. I'm like, That is not even true. That is not even true. Just because I didn't hustle in 2020 don't mean I'm not a hustler. And not everybody are hustlers anyway. Everybody's not a hustler. And for them to try to make it seem like being a hustler is the best thing to do or the best thing to be in the world, like, come on, stop, y'all. Stop. You know, just staying safe and staying sane was an accomplishment day in and day out. Especially if you have children and you're in the home with the children, you're trying to work from home, you're trying to help them with school at home. That is a lot to take on. And so I know for me, like I told y'all before in my other video, sometimes I just had to get away and go to the park and sit. It's a lot, and it can still be a lot, just constantly, every day, day in and day out. There are people there. It's a lot. It can definitely take a toll on you. Plus, during the winter times, you know, people battle with depression, seasonal depression, on top of the pandemic. I pray so strongly for those individuals, because even though I only had a short bout with depression, what I experienced was very eye-opening for me with what people deal with, who deal with depression on a regular basis, who deal with seasonal depression. It's not, I didn't understand that it was more than just being sad. It's exhausting. It's, oh my goodness, it will wear you out. You don't want to do anything. And I had to get up every day, get people to school, come to work, smile, act like nothing was wrong, and then go home and just literally go in my house and get in my bed. Not figuring out what was for dinner, not seeing what was going on with my kid, nothing. Like, they would come in my room and we would talk, but I went straight in my room every night. You know, getting out of bed to face a day was literally exhausting. Like, I just ran a marathon for 5 days. It was exhausting. And so I'm grateful that I got to experience that, because I have a better understanding, especially with me being a bubbly person. Like, I couldn't fully understand how someone couldn't just shake depression, because I was associating it with being sad. And, you know, I allow myself to be sad for a certain amount of time, and then I shake it, and then it's, you know, I know techniques to do to get myself out of, if I'm in an unpleasant place. So if I'm sad, mad, or angry, I know how to do different things to take me out of there. And so I couldn't understand depression until I experienced it for myself. And so if you are someone who battles with depression, I will definitely keep you lifted in prayer. If you know people who battle with depression and you don't quite understand it fully, maybe read up on it, ask them, you know, what they deal with, just to get a better understanding, because people will just brush it off like, ain't nothing wrong with you. You know what I mean? When there really is. And so, yeah, there's that. So some goals that I do have for this year is read 10 books. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but I do editing on the side. So outside of those books, reading 10 books leisurely, I'll say. I made it to, I'm saying 7.5 books last year. I'm currently reading Kim Cash's book. Listen, okay, real quick, for people who love to read, Kim Cash is an excellent, underrated, I think she's underrated, author. Kim Cash Tate. Her books are amazing. I love her writing style. I love the real, because they're fictional books. The realness that she adds to her books, I love them. She's my favorite author right now. So I'm currently reading her book called As Long as I Cling, and it's like 700 pages. So I'm like halfway through that book, so that's why I actually probably read 9 books. So I'm halfway through that book, and so that's why I said 7.5 books, because I was halfway through at the end of the year. So that, I want to save $2,000 just for nothing. just saved $2,000. So I have to do a breakdown for that, so I can figure out how much I need to save a month. And I know it might not seem like a lot. It's just a number that I pull out the air pretty much, just to see if I can stick to it and not dabble with it. Because that's my problem. When I'm saving money, I end up bothering it, and then I'll probably fall off from putting towards it. So this year I want to definitely, because you have emergency funds and different savings. I just want to save $2,000 that isn't categorized for anything. So I'll work out a plan for that. I do want to take my kids on a cruise. I was talking to a friend, and she was saying I could take a cruise because my kids want to go to Hawaii. So do I. So I was thinking about doing a cruise to Hawaii. So we'll see how 2020, moves forward regarding Corona. And obviously my continued growth in Christ is always on my list. So because obviously that's important to me, staying close to Him, being on one accord with Him. I do want to share something really quickly. While I've been feeling like, God hasn't been talking to me, so I was kind of feeling bad, or like we were disconnected, and I was feeling down about that. And I think a couple weeks ago, I heard from Him, and I don't know for people who don't know, but I heard from Him, and it was so refreshing. It was so, I was just so elated that He was talking to me. Oh my goodness. So that's a whole thing. So anyway, let me know if you're still here. Put a celebratory emoji in the comments. Let me know how you celebrated your Christmas and your New Year, what your goals are for 2021, what your words are if you have any for 2021, and what's going on with you. Until next time.